Welcome to Talk Hospitality to me. I'm your host, Farouk Rajab. Every week we bring you inspiring career pathway stories from the industry, and with me, my co-host,
Victoria Majacomo, and today I am welcoming Todd Lincoln as our guest. We're very excited to have you here with us. Thank you for coming in, Todd.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Look
course.
forward to this.
Yeah. So we're going to kick it off with a little bit about your high school background and college, and tell us about that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so many years ago, I graduated from Bishop Fenwick High School, which is a Catholic high school in Peabody, Massachusetts. And those of you that know me, would think a religious high school and Todd probably don't go neck and neck to each other, but that's okay. I'll tell you my funny story. The one class that I struggled in most was actually religion, and I had to take a summer class for religion.
Oh my
It's like
God.
one of my deepest, darkest secrets there that I just, exposed here. But it was really fun to get extra summer studies of religion, and that was we had the sister Margaret was my teacher. I think that she just didn't like my take on something, and then she was like, you're gonna have a brother teach you religion in the summer, so that's what it was. But fail. Nice little F with the ruler across the knuckles. But in Peabody, there's a hotel actually in Salem, Massachusetts, which is the Hawthorne Hotel, and it's actually a historic hotel. So I started working there as after school. I would take a bus from where a public transportation bus.
Okay.
And I would take the bus from there to downtown Salem, and I would be the evening closer for the receiving dock. It was the most non-glamorous position ever, but you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. How old were you?
I was probably 16, maybe 15,
Okay.
16, yeah. So it was 3 days a week. I would get there probably at 3 o'clock. I'd work until 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was an easy gig. If I could do it again today, I probably would sign myself back up for that. Really.
Why you wanted to do that?
Well, I wanted to work in a hotel. I did. And the reason I think I wanted to work in a hotel was because when I was younger, I was fascinated with the pomp and circumstance of going to fancy hotels. It was just something that I think there was an allure to it. It was something fun. So, and then once you start working, when you're like, wow, there's a whole behind the scenes, another world that to make the front look so seamless and on point, right? Like a ballet. So, so I was I did that for a little while, and October is a very busy month for Salem, as everybody probably is aware.
Which town?
Which town, right?
Yeah.
And this was a historic hotel, so it opened in 1925, and the elevators were somewhat original. And during the Halloween weekends, they needed somebody to be the elevator boy, not a bellhop, an elevator boy. And I could only allow 4 people on the elevator with me, so I would ride up and down the elevators all day long for my 8-hour shift or whatever it was, and literally if you had 5 people, no matter if it was a babe, the elevator you'd get stuck until there was trick to get it unstuck or whatnot. But
That's scary for me.
I think they're upgraded and renovated now, but
Good to know.
yeah. So that was kind of my first intro into it, and then I had a great leader at that point, who kind of just was like, here, whatever you want to bite off. You can grow, you can do whatever you want to do. So my introduction to front office and stuff like that, and concierge and bellman and all sorts of fun things. Actually, earlier this year, they celebrated their 100th anniversary. So it was fun to go back and see, I got some tips for when we celebrate 100 in Providence here. So.
There you go.
So you're going to be here for another 15 years?
I mean, maybe. God willing. God willing.
So, and then you went to Johnson Wales?
I did, yeah. So I remember, as studious as I am, there was a time in my academic life that I wanted to be done with school. Mm-hmm. We all, I think, have that moment of where we're like, okay, I've opened enough books in my life. I want to move on. I want to do something different. So I got into Johnson & Wales. And what was really interesting or what really kind of sparked my attention with that school was that they do, and I don't know if they do this today, but the upside down curriculum was a really cool thing back in the day. That's okay, so I went to JWU starting in 2002, okay? So I'll date myself a little bit there. But they would let you take core courses in your freshman year, and I thought how cool is that? You don't have to take your arts and sciences. You have to take those, but it's not full fledged, for your first few years of the class. So you kind of get a taste of what you're going to school for. So when I started as a freshman there, I had some great professors, and my freshman year, I remember Leslie Koski. I actually just saw her at the 50th. She she was my first professor, my first class that I ever had there, and I like still to this day we have a connection. So it is really cool, and it's just to be able to see like what or get a taste of what you're gonna do before you spend 4 years trying to go to school for something. I thought was really cool back then. So
that's really nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So what was your major?
It was hotel management with a concentration, I think, in rooms division. It was, I mean, as boring could get, but I mean, because you could do like international hotel. There's so many things that they do there, but it was almost like a double of the same thing. But it was good. It worked for me. So
another JWU student here with Victoria.
Yeah. When did you graduate?
When or you're gonna try and age me now?
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. I graduated in 2019.
2019. Okay.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Now they don't even have trimesters anymore.
I know. So I was like the last of the trimesters. I think
that's fun.
I loved the trimesters.
Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Like, so cool.
You can't beat that.
Do you know, guys, that now you can get your bachelor in 3 years at Johnson Wales?
I did know that. That's crazy.
3 years.
Yeah.
You want that 4th year though. Like
you do, and you can still do it
spread it out
in 4 years. Yeah, but they're trying to move some of those things that you can do, like internship post graduation instead of during in class. So that's some of the forward looking on curriculum and how you can use it to help, because it also lowers your financial burden, right? So that's one of the reasons why they're trying to do that, among many other ways, to get more people interested in the industry. Yeah. And your first job was at the hotel where you're currently working during Johnson Wales?
So when I came to Rhode Island in 2002, I applied for the job at the Marriott before I came here. Somehow there was like the HR person at the Hawthorne knew somebody. Well, that's how the world works, right?
Right.
Got me an interview, and I remember like connecting with the director of HR at that point, and then actually sitting in my office today on the other side of the desk and having an interview with Dan Peterson. He was a GM at that point. So,
wow,
yeah, and to sit there all these years later,
and
I
be on the other side of the desk, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really good ride. I mean, to think that I would be in the same building. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of like a homing pigeon. Remember when you let me go for a little while?
I remember.
Yeah. But I came back. You did. So,
pigeon.
but if you asked me when I went to Boston for a little while, if you asked me if I was going to be back in Providence in my future, I don't think. I mean, I didn't know. That wasn't in my cards. I didn't. But one good thing about our industry is that there's a lot of unknowns sometimes in a good way. It keeps you on your feet. You never know what your next opportunity or challenge or exciting, adventure is going to be. So
for the viewers out there, that Todd and I worked together for many years, and I didn't let him go. He just had a great opportunity, and I convinced him it's a great opportunity for him.
You did.
So we'll take a break, and we'll come back to talk to Todd Lincoln. Welcome back. With us, Todd Lincoln here from the Providence Marriott, and we ended the segment you telling me that I let you go, I didn't let you go. So you and I worked together for many years at the Providence Marriott. So, and it's fascinating how many positions you can do at a hotel. But you did quite a few. I know you had a journey through front desk, but tell us some where did you start? Now you're the general manager of the hotel.
Yeah.
Tell us the positions you kind of.
Yeah, so
worked.
I mean, it really is a full circle moment, and I think when I started PBX operator, which was the hotel telephone operator. That's what they hired me as, and it was the person who trained me was at the 50th. She was able to come to the 50th anniversary, so she's very proud of the training that she did for me to get me to where I am today. So, but I started as a PBX operator, and kind of was able to grow. Well, I was a student at Johnson Wales. I mean, when I graduated Johnson Wales, I think I was a front desk manager at that point. And, just being open to opportunities and challenges. And, I really think, your attitude is everything, right?
Yeah.
There was a great speaker, Keith Harrell. He did a lot of motivational stuff. And attitude, he had like a song that was like, attitude is everything. And it really is. Like, you can choose your attitude, right? You can be having a bad day. You can be having, something not going your way or whatnot, but to really, just to wake up and be like, I'm going to have a good day. Like, it's going to be a good day no matter what. Like, it makes a big difference, right? So, through the years, I've told myself I'm going to have a great day, and over and over and over again, and GMs come and go and change, and I had worked under your previous boss, Eric Churchill, for many years. He's the chief operations officer for the company now. So he's afforded me a lot of opportunity of growth too, which I'm very thankful for, because in our industry, to stay in one building or to stay in one company for 20 plus years, I mean that it can be a privilege to be able to do that, because I mean you have to move around a lot if you want to grow. If you want to. So I've taken different opportunities throughout my journey with Meyer, who owns the Providence Marriott, to get me to the point where I am today. So I do joke with Farouk. Farouk was he's a very compassionate leader, and I remember the podcast you were on one time.
Oh yes, I do.
He still talks about it.
Leadership of the heart. Leadership of the heart. But I mean, he I mean, that's you. The picture of Farouk is like a leader with a heart, though. He really is. Like, he genuinely cares about his people. He genuinely cares about growing people, and people that walk the talk. He really wants to make sure that he's there to support. So that's when we kind of going back and forth. There was an opportunity to run a hotel in Boston, the Courtyard in Copley Square, which is, I mean, it's the GM's dream job right there. That property.
It's a great location.
Great location. Great location. So in the back of my mind, I wasn't. I'm probably saying I'm not going to be at the Providence Marriott forever, but Farouk really was like, he kind of like pushed me off the cliff to be like, just you're going to be fine. You do this. You have me. You have so he created
the wings.
He created the support system and the resources that allowed me to kind of flourish there. So to start off answering the phones and come back earlier this year to be able to take the hotel at the helm is really it really was a full circle moment and a great story to tell, because I started mopping floors at the Hawthorne Hotel.
Yeah.
Right.
And you end up, and hospitality you can have a comfortable, balanced life if you put the time and effort and the focus in it. You really can. You can build that life. Yeah. I feel hospitality is more rewarding than more than any other many other industries. I shouldn't say all industries, but many other industries, mentally, socially, and financially.
I agree.
But I know you're more than a general manager, because you oversee some other properties. So
I do. So that time during COVID was fun for all of us in hospitality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we still talk about that or if we don't talk about that anymore, but even for Farouk, it was even more fun for Farouk than I think it was for me. But there was not much happening in Boston, so we had an opportunity. We were opening a hotel, so I was able to kind of continue, growing my wings, and I went and opened up a hotel in upstate New York, which was very interesting, because I kind of came in at like the bottom of like the 6th inning and like had to just like pick it up and like see it to fruition, which it was a great challenge. There was not much else happening in our world, so to see owners investing back in our industry was kind of reassuring a little bit, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But I also in my day-to-day, I do oversee 2 other properties within the company. One of them is up in Jackson, New Hampshire. It's the Wentworth up there, as well as the Sagaponic in the Hamptons in New York. So,
do you have a connection with New Hampshire by any chance?
I do. I purchased back in 2018 a little place to escape to called the Chalet.
I heard you did it on your phone and didn't even view. Is that true?
It was we found it through one of those apps, Realtors or whatever it was, and we went up and looked at it, and it was the first spot that we looked at in person, and we ended up making it happen. So
that's awesome.
It's a fun little getaway. I used to tell Farouk, because I bought it when I still worked for Farouk. It was always really troubling to get cell phone signals and service up there, so it really was like, I mean, knowing me, I was a very connected person, so to disconnect from work was like a challenge for me. The work-life balance is something great, and it's something that you always have to work on both, on both ends of it, because it doesn't always come easy, and you can get sucked into one end or the other, right?
Yeah.
So this was something that I think allowed me a little bit more of like, I can step away for 48 hours and everything's going to be okay. In my younger years, I mean, and it's definitely been something a good.
Don't age yourself. You're still very young. I in my younger years. It's like, but I think
when I had hair.
When you had hair, yeah. I always knew you with less and less hair. But I think it's part of it is you put in the work, you put in the hard work, you put in the hours, you put in the effort, and we talk about personality, common sense when you're hiring the right people, but you put in the effort to deserve now to have that work-life balance and be able to own a chalet and go enjoy some time and get disconnected from.
It makes it easier to have something to do up there, though. Like, if I'm heading up to the hotel up in Jackson, New Hampshire, you know what I mean? I don't have to drive all the way home. Right.
And what makes you successful is the people that work with you. Like, I was successful in my career in hospitality and hotels because I had people like Todd who worked with me. And I always said Todd made me look good because he's the smartest person I know. He's much smarter than me. So we worked together. He made it. We
all bring something to the table. So.
We do. Yeah, no, it's really it's about the people, and it's rewarding to see the team that you work with grow and surpass you, and become in Todd's seat where he oversees multiple property, and he is the seated general manager of the Providence Marriott, which is a real historic property. I mean, they just celebrated 50 years.
50 years.
Is it the 13th Marriott ever?
The 12th.
12th Marriott ever to be open?
Historic property,
It is. It's the 12th Marriott ever.
Which is funny because if I go back to my really younger years and I think to myself, I worked at the Hawthorne Hotel. It was the historic Hawthorne Hotel, right? National Register, historic preservation, all that stuff. I was fascinated by that. Like, I really was into the historic hotels. Like what's the Palmer House, Hilton in Chicago was like, I like remember going to Chicago with my parents and being like, no, I'm going to stay here. You guys can stay wherever. I want to stay here, right? Like I want to the grand names of these hotels, right?
Yeah.
And now look at that. Like, I'm like still at a historic building almost. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And we'll take a break. We'll come back to finish our conversation with Todd Lincoln.
Thanks.
Welcome back. So, Todd, what is the most rewarding part of your job besides all of the historic hotels that we know you love?
I think the most rewarding part of my job is it really is the people, right? I mean, I think it always goes back to the people. So, you have people that are amazing at what they do, and you always want to create a team of people that all bring something different to the table, right? Because a team of me, although it might be something that people would dream of, it's not. It would get old really quickly, right? And it wouldn't be efficient. Like, you need people, but the relationships that you make with these people, I mean, they just going back to our 50th anniversary. I mean, it was the most amazing mix of past associates, past clients. It was to bring this all together under like a celebration was. I mean, it gives me goosebumps like right now just talking about it, just because it's more than a job, right? And that's going back to hospitality and how it is different from a lot of other industries. You spend a lot of time with people that you work with, so that creates a bond that kind of is unlike any other industry that I can think of, where I mean you're in the trenches and you're getting stuff done, and I mean the reward of getting to the end, to the end zone or wherever you need to get to for that day or for that week or for that month, it really that's rewarding. I mean, to see it come together, to have this planning and you plan and prepare, do all this stuff, and to see it come as a team together is just like
for sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I was just actually I met a person a couple of nights ago, and she was just telling me that she loves Newport, and I was like, oh, why do you love Newport? She goes, oh, I used to work in Newport. I used to work at the Marriott, and my husband worked at the Marriott. I was at the front desk. He was the bellman. We met each other there. We got married. And I'm like, oh my God, I know I used to work at Marriott, and we had this whole conversation about and it became like automatic bond. Like she became my friend all of a sudden because we had this bond of hospitality and hotels, and we both worked for the same company, and she was like, oh my God, yeah, became instantly friends. So that bond, you're right, it just it transfers, it goes beyond just the work, and you build so many personal relationships. Like Todd is my friend because we worked together for so many years. It's really rewarding and fascinating. What's fascinating, you said earlier you were there for 24 years.
24 years.
Wow. Same place,
right?
Yeah,
I was like 7 years away, but
yeah,
right.
I feel like back to what you just said, Farouk. That type of connection, it like removes a barrier, right? Like everybody has a guard up, right? Like when but you walk around guarded or whatever, and once you have that commonality of something like that, it really just it makes it more of a genuine and an easy way into creating a new friendship or whatever it might be, connection or whatnot. So.
That's awesome. So being part of the 50th anniversary and you working there for 24 years, that's almost half the time of it being around. How does that feel for you?
God, now that you said that out loud. Wow. No, I mean, it's from a physical standpoint, it's amazing to see how the hotel's morphed through the years. I mean, the fact, I mean, Arthur Robbins, who was an amazing philanthropist, through the years, God rest his soul, but I mean, he's left that legacy, and he's created, employment for all these people in the city of Providence, but it's allowed him to give back in different ways too. And but just to see the connections and the way the hotel has changed and how it's created. I mean, there's been, I can't even tell you how many people have met there and married and had, have created, started a family there and whatnot. So, I mean, that in itself is a story, right?
Yeah, and when I worked there, many people had their weddings and their children weddings and their grandchildren weddings, christening parties, and it became that cornerstone in the community. Like, everybody went there, everybody came there, and you're right. Like, yes, Arthur is not with us, but he left a legacy. He built that hotel. He built the Marriott Newport as well. And it's like so many historic moments for so many Rhode Islanders at those two properties. And
we were doing a lot of social posts, just kind of flashbacks leading up to the 50th, which was fun, because to find, before I had left to go to Boston, Arthur, when he was cleaning out his office, he called me one time, and our phones were like interconnected, so his office would just dial. It's like, dial right in. He's like, Todd, I need you to come over here. He's like, I have all this stuff from when the hotel first opened. He's like, and nobody will. I'm either gonna throw it away. He's like, but if I give it to you, at least we can try to keep the legacy going or whatnot, right? And sure enough, when everything happens for a reason. I came back. I'm like, no, I know there's like 3 or 4 boxes of this stuff, and I remember where I put it, and thankfully nobody touched it. It was there for a wonderful amount of time. But I mean, to find stuff and to dig through some old, the archives when we were trying to put all this together, it was really crazy just to see, like, I mean, the rooms, everything that's morphed throughout the years, and it was fun. So.
You're lucky he called you Todd. He called me Kid all the time. He called me one time at the same period when he was trying to clean his office. He's like, Kid, come down here. Help me throw all these awards and trophies that he had collected throughout the years for his philanthropy and his hard work, and because he didn't want the next generation to worry about, like, what are they going to do with all these like awards in his office. But he was a very thoughtful man, and he thought about every detail.
I know. There was one, he from a Rotarian standpoint, Arthur was very involved, and he won an award for, the Humanitarian, Man of the Year, Rotary Award. And it was one piece of the archive I was like, when we were putting stuff out, I was like, we'll hold this one just because it would have a smaller, meeting or whatnot. In my conversations with people that I met, some of them for the first time that night, he was like, it was one of the Rotarians, and he's like, I gave Arthur that award. Like, it was just a funny big story, because we still have it today. So I mean, it's really cool, and the stories live on. So.
So Todd, what would you tell your younger self as a piece of advice if you could go back in time? What would that advice be?
As a piece of advice to tell my younger self, I think I would probably say just don't jump on any opportunity that you don't be afraid, and not afraid in a way of fear, but in afraid of, like, the unknown, right? Like, just everything has a reason for coming into your life or going out of your life, and for jobs, people, whatever it is, right? So I would say just take the opportunities that present themselves to you and run with them. They came to you for a reason.
It's awesome. It's great advice. Awesome.
Great advice. I can't have enough of Todd Lincoln in my life, even after we stop working together. But we thank you for taking the time to come out and
awesome.
Chat with us. It's really a rewarding conversation for me to hear and celebrate you again, my friend. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria.